You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I want to thank you for joining me here on today's Total Wellness Tuesday show. Really excited to get started. Before I do, I want you to know that on our Total Wellness Tuesday shows, we dedicate each and every week to a new topic that I believe can improve your overall wellness. Now, some of you may be listening because you're dealing with an autoimmune issue, you're dealing with a mystery illness, you're dealing with some type of skin rash, or maybe it's Hashimoto's, or it's migraines. Maybe it's food sensitivities, IBS, Crohn's, colitis, any number of issues. And I'm telling you right now that each and every week, we are going to start to improve our overall wellness. You're going to learn new things every week that build off of the previous weeks. If you haven't, go back and listen to those previous podcasts just by going to stephencabral.com/podcast, or simply go into iTunes, anything, and just type in Cabral Concept. But I'm telling you right now, you're going to keep adding more knowledge to your reservoir, your arsenal, so that you can not only, I believe, completely revamp your own health, but then teach others, share this with others so they can improve their overall health as well. And I'm telling you right now, no matter what you've been told by a previous practitioner, I want to make this really clear. No matter what you've been told before, that you have this dis-ease of the body, you have that dis-ease, that this can't get better, or that no one has any idea what it is. Trust me right now, there's always an answer. There is absolutely always an answer. And just because you haven't found yours doesn't mean you can't get better. It simply means you haven't found your answer yet. But if you begin to walk down the path towards wellness, you will find your answer. It is waiting for you. It's always not just that next step. Meaning that you can't just take, a couple of different action steps and get right there. You do have to do that. You do need to walk the path. But a lot of times it really does mean seeing multiple practitioners, because everybody has a little bit different take. It's reading multiple books. It's listening to different types of podcasts, reading the articles, all of those things. Everything, every step you take in your health, in your wellness, takes you one more step further, as long as you don't let it overwhelm you. That's really, really important. Remember, you'll find your answer. So now that you know, you will find your answer. I found mine. It took some time, but you will find yours as well. And when you do, life will obviously change. But let me tell you this, you're going to find it. So what I want you to do now, though, is just relax into the process. All right? Breathe into the process. You will find your answer. It might not be today or tomorrow, but you're going to find it. It's going to be soon enough. So just start to relax in the process. I just wanted to add that before we get started on today's show, because I see so many people in my practice. And really, that's the nice thing, is that I do work with real people. And what I like to do is just share a lot of what I see in my office. And that's why I'll be, without a doubt, I'll be working inside of my concierge-based functional medicine practice for the rest of my life, because it keeps me in tune. I love being able to work with people on a one-on-one basis. So I just see that every day in my practice, and I want to be able to just share a few of those things with you, because like I said, it will happen. I know everyone is going to get their answer. They just have to sometimes just be a little bit more patient, but it will come to you. All right, on today's topic though, I want to share with you the 10 early warning signs of cancer not to ignore. All right, here's why this is important. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed and nervous and really just too concerned about your overall health, because that can only hurt you as well. But there are specific things that we need to watch for that I believe a lot of people just shake off, and they say, it's probably just this, it's probably just that. And, they never end up running their blood work or running any labs or seeing a doctor or doing anything about it. And so, and again, maybe this isn't for you, okay? It might not be, but remember, we're here to help each other out. So a spouse, a partner, a parent, a child, remember, you need to be helping other people people as well. I truly believe that not everyone is capable really of dealing with their own issues, of helping themselves to the greatest of their ability. I really do believe we're here to help each other, to be of as much service as we can. And I've also found that the more service you can provide to others without burning yourself out, but really try to provide to others, it helps you out in such a tremendous way, because you know what? You get all those good feelings back, and you just know that, that you're doing more with your life. And that just, it leads to a lot of fulfillment, I believe. So as you're listening into today's show, again, I don't want you to become overwhelmed, but you need to know about these really, really common warning signs. And because people ask all the time, like, oh, how do I know I'm not going to get cancer? I don't know. Like, I can't tell you yes or no, but what I can tell you is if you're running your labs, if you're doing your blood work every 6 to 12 months, you can catch things before it becomes an issue. Meaning, like, if your white blood cells are off, if your red blood cells are off, if your homocysteine's through the roof, if your CRP is really high, if your D-dimer, if your platelets, if all these things are off, well, you can catch that. You can catch it right away. And that's why no matter what age you are, from 18 on, and even younger than that, you should be running your blood work, and you should run it at least annually. And that's really, again, I know that a lot of MDs and PCPs don't know the finer details of, if your numbers are within range, they just say, okay, everything's fine. Or even if it's a little out of range. Now, of course, that's not healthy either, because you want to keep your body optimized. It's not good enough to just be in range. You want to be optimized. So, of course, you can work with myself. You can work with any other functional medicine practitioner in your area with the knowledge that's able to do that. Again, I'm not the only person that's able to do that. You know that. And you're able to work with a good naturopathic doctor in your area. Or, of course, I'm happy to work with you on that as well. But my goal is that you just get these labs run, that you know what's going on inside of your body, because the outside sometimes doesn't always tell you until a little later. But let's get into the outside signs now, the outer signs that you should pay attention to or see in others. Okay, so let's get started. So the funny thing about the internet is that even, and again, I'm not looking at like random articles that are published. I like to look at the research on Google Scholar or on PubMed of actual published studies. But there was a really nice article, all backed up by research and science, and I believe it was by Jill Kramer. So I just want to give Jill Kramer credit. Again, I've seen this article reproduced many times, but at least the one that I saw was under Jillian Kramer's name. So I just want to give her credit. What I want to do is I want to take these 10 warning signs and I want to break them down a little bit better for you. Maybe a little bit different from the article, make it a little bit more applicable to all of us in the real world. So the first one is this. The first warning sign is a persistent cough or hoarseness of your voice. I think that this is really important because I've actually seen this a lot in my practice. And one of the reasons is I work so much with, again, IBS, I work with SIBO, I work with Crohn's, I work colitis, H. pylori, acid reflux. And what I see a lot of the times, people come to me, they come to me years later. I wish they came to me earlier, but I understand, they come years later and they start to get a little bit of Barrett's esophageal based issues, or they get some type of scarring or anything like that. But I can tell you this, yes, hoarseness, a cough can be from postnasal drip. It can be from acid reflux or silent reflux even. You might not even feel it. But also, this can be a sign of lung cancer or another type of cancer. So it's an important one just to keep an eye on, okay? Again, if someone in your family has had a hoarse voice for a month, tell them to go get it checked out, all right? They can go to a GI specialist or at least get their blood work done by their PCP. All right. Number 2 is a persistent change in bowel habits. This is important. Again, I'm always going to give you both sides of the story because most of the time it's not cancer. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the time it's not cancer, but we still need to keep it in mind. So if all of a sudden you become constipated and you're like, I don't know what's going on, you can say to yourself, well, has something changed? Have you started eating more dairy, even if it's yogurt or something like that? Have you started eating more dairy? Or have you started eating less fiber? Has your diet changed at all? Or stress, whatever it might be. That could lead to constipation, but also if you have a bowel obstruction. It could be a tumor. It could be colon cancer. It's something to look at, all right? So again, first we look at our diet, we look at dehydration, we look at a lot of other different things, but also this should be something that's checked out. You should be having 1 bowel movement or 2 bowel movements per day, up to 3. That's totally normal as a human being. If you don't have a bowel movement at least once a day, you have to check back to my previous Cabral concepts on constipation because constipation is a real issue. If you are not having a bowel movement at least once per day, a normal bowel movement, okay? If you are not having that, that means you're most likely reabsorbing toxins into your body, or your body's not nourished enough, or multiple different reasons. Dehydration, so many different reasons, but it's paramount, literally paramount that you get that fixed. Okay, number 3 is persistent change in bladder habits. Okay, so this is a little bit different, meaning that massively increased urination. Like having to urinate every half hour. Like that's a big one. Could be diabetes, could be fructose malabsorption, could be bladder infection, or it could be, if you have blood in your urine, it could be a kidney infection, or it could be a bladder infection or cancer as well. So it's something to keep in mind. Of course, you never want to see blood in your urine. Is it an infection? Is it cancer? Again, if you're prone to urinary tract infections, I'm going to be coming out with a podcast on that. I've spoken about that before. You can literally just type in UTI into StephenCabral.com/podcast, and you'll find my episodes on that. We even have a urinary tract infection protocol, which I've been using now for 5 years with phenomenal results. And I'm also going to do a podcast on that just to show you all the research behind it, which is now proving that it's as effective, if not more effective, than antibiotics or drugs. And again, we've been using that for 5 years before even the research came out specifically on it, because we know we've been using this for thousands of years in nature, and it works. Okay, up next is a persistent, unexplained pain, meaning like chest pain, which could be lung cancer, headaches, which could be brain-based tumor. Again, is a headache usually a brain tumor? No. But if you're getting it every day, out of the blue, it's something to check out. And now, again, a headache, that's why I don't like the whole thing that we have pharmaceuticals. I love that we have pharmaceuticals for life-saving conditions, no doubt about it. But I don't like that we can just go to the store and get Advil or Tylenol or, name your favorite pain reliever. And the reason is we're masking symptoms. Literally, I was probably 2 or 3 years straight, every day, every afternoon, I had a headache. This was in, let's say, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I was eating foods at lunch that I was sensitive to. All I had to do was a food sensitivity test. I could have done that and seen that, wow, these foods that I'm eating are giving me a headache every single day after lunch. It's like clockwork. And I stopped eating those foods and I didn't get the headache anymore. So that's why, again, it's not always cancer, but it's something, right? It's something that you should not ignore. You could run your own food sensitivity test at home. We'll link it up today in the show notes. Not a problem. But again, just don't push off the symptoms. Don't mask the symptoms. They're there for a reason. If you have symptoms, it's a sign that your body's imbalanced. And if your body's imbalanced, well, later it could lead to cancer if you don't get it fixed now. And that's why these things are really important. None of us want to have to deal with cancer. All right, a change in the appearance of a mole. Now, most of us have heard this before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But if all of a sudden you had this small brown mole and it just started to become misshapen, which means the edges were off. It wasn't a nice little circle. Or it started to change color, or started to grow. Any of these things are reasons to go see a qualified dermatologist who can better assess that to see if that is a cancerous-based melanoma. Now, again, most moles will never grow into cancer, but some do. And so it's worth simply going to the dermatologist and getting that checked out. Now, these are, again, all preventative. What could you do? Well, again, most of the people I see, since they already have health insurance anyways, they work with me for all of their health-based issues. But they have their blood work run once a year by their PCP, and they also go once a year or every other year or so to have their skin checked out. And this is for people in their, let's just say 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever it might be. And it's just preventative. It's just hey, I just want that clean bill of health. That's all it is. I think that's great, without a doubt. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Because, again, I'm the most integrated I believe you could be. I'm for everything. I'm for dermatologists. I'm for GI. I'm for all these things. I'm just not for how the end result comes in. Meaning I don't believe in Prilosec. I don't believe in Nexium. I don't believe in any of these things that are going to mask the symptoms. And the reason is once we start masking things, what happens is other things start to get worse. We're saying, oh, okay, we'll just pretend that's not there. We'll just stick our head in the sand. And then again, it gets worse because it builds, the inflammation builds, and it becomes a much greater issue. All right. a sore that does not heal. All right, if you have a sore that does not heal, meaning like after 3 weeks, if you still have this open wound, this open sore, that could be a potential issue or carcinoma or something like that that could worth checking into. We'll put it that way. Could be, again, many things, but something at least is off with the immune system of why your body's not healing that quickly. Get that checked out, okay? Could even be a suppressed immune system. Unexpected bleeding, meaning you could have cervical cancer, you could have colon cancer, but that's important to check out as well for both men and women. All right, really, really important. Unexplained weight loss. This is another one. So I know a lot of people are trying to lose weight, but what if you're not trying to lose weight? You're just going about your normal business. You're eating how you typically do. You're exercising or not exercising. Nothing's really changed. But all of a sudden, you're down 10 pounds. If you are losing weight and you're not trying to, it's typically a catabolic-based composition of the body, meaning that your body is breaking down a little too quickly. And so there are different types of cancer, which I'm going to get into soon on the Cabral concept. So definitely stay tuned. But just keep in mind, Donald William Kelly, Nicholas Gonzalez, a lot of people have understood this. A lot of people have known this, that it's not just about hard tumors. There's also this thing called a soft cancer. Soft cancer needs to be treated differently than a hard cancer. Hard cancers would be the tumors. You know, people talk about like the keto-based diet. Well, that's different. Then we talk about hard cancer. What about the soft cancers? What about the things like blood cancer or cancer inside the bone? These types of things are very, very different. Again, I'm going to talk about the treatment protocols for those in the future as well. All right, what else do we have? We have 2 more to go. The second to last one is a new lump. Again, most people know about breast cancer and checking the breast to make sure that there are no lumps. Really important to do. Again, simple to do, should be done at least, in my opinion, I would say just once a month. And this is, again, easy things to do. Preventative medicine. Preventative medicine is really what it's all about. Get yourself healthy and then prevent yourself from being sick in the future. And again, if you find it early enough, again, if you catch any of these things early enough, very, very treatable, very simple. But what about a lump anywhere? What about a lump under your armpit? What about a lump on your leg? What about a lump in the groin? All of these things should be checked out. Now, maybe it's just a swollen lymph node. Sure, but why is that lymph node swollen? Again, it doesn't have to be cancer, but maybe there is an immune issue going on. And that's important to check out, okay? And so that's when you go to your PCP and you say, hey, this is what I have going on. I just want to have it checked out. And they say, oh, it's this. It might just be a fatty nodule, which is nothing. Or it could be something more in depth. And maybe we want to have that biopsied, or maybe we want to have that looked at like a specialist. Again, that's why we have modern medicine. That's why we have these advancements in technology. Use that to your advantage, okay? Check that out. And the last thing is difficulty swallowing. Again, I work with this all the time in my practice. Sometimes it has to do with anxiety. Sometimes it has to do with digestive issues. Sometimes it has to do with a hiatal hernia. Sometimes it has to do with a inflamed or swollen thyroid. There are many different reasons, but also it could be a esophageal cancer. It could be a tumor in the neck. It could be thyroiditis, or I shouldn't say thyroiditis. I should say a tumor growing on your thyroid. So important to check out. And again, I am not one to ever want to scare you, because I believe in the healing power of your body and natural medicine, and not having to worry about all these little things that could go wrong. But what I want you to know are the certain symptoms, outward symptoms of what can be going on the inside. So if you have any of these things, or you see them in other people, just make note. Just say, hey, probably nothing, like, here, listen to Dr. Cabral's podcast on this. Probably nothing, meaning like nothing. It's probably not cancer, but it's this, or this, right? So it should still be fixed. But just to make sure, why don't we have it checked out? Nothing wrong with doing that. Better to be safe than sorry, as they say, right? That's at least my philosophy. I always want to make sure that we're just keeping each other healthy and that we're just looking out for each other. That's really what it's all about. So thank you for tuning into this Cabral concept. Really appreciate your listens, and please do feel free to share this show with anyone it could help. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.